Another episode of Salient Points number 40 for September 28th, 2021. I'm your host, Carlos Macias. As per usual, thank you for joining us. Go ahead and check out wegotcoms.com, of course, for all your gaming news. It's a depository. We got the podcast, and sometimes we do reviews and whatnot on there. But I'm your host, Carlos Macias. And as per usual, from up in the mountains, Dalan Kirkwood. Thank you for joining us, Dalan.
Thank you very much.
I see you got a little bit of case of the Mondays over there, Dalan. You doing all right?
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, this happens. Well, I have the case of the Mondays for a different reason.
Oh, okay. You don't need to elaborate, Dalan.
No, I'm not going to elaborate.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying. Sometimes when you tell people no need to elaborate, they're like, you know what? But let me elaborate. Now that you gave me permission, I didn't. It was weird.
No, here, I will say it this way. I was up till late last night playing a video game.
Oh, okay, reasonable. You know what? It was weird for me today. So this is up on Tuesday, but Monday I did go see the Rams versus the Buccaneers game. So it was weird today because I took the day off on Monday. And I was like, I'm gonna be a little kind of dealing with something after Sunday or whatever, after Sunday festivities. So it felt a little weird. I was like, I think we're still in the weekend, right? But it's like, no, people are out and about. Just like the man on the wheels of steel, Luis Mendez, sir. Did you have a case of the Mondays, Luis, or nah?
A little bit, yeah. I had myself a pretty active weekend. A little late birthday celebration for the mom because of COVID, so we had to postpone it a bit. But yeah. All right. Nice to hear that you guys had a good weekend. You know who had a good weekend after having a good presentation is Nintendo with their Nintendo Direct. That was actually last Thursday, but there was nothing too big after that since last Thursday. So I think we'll break down a few of the things that they showed. One of the biggest things, and I think that you were kind of hyped because you did get into our chat group, into our phone
immediately
text group. Dalan was really hyped that the Super Mario Brothers movie, the cast was revealed. The movie's dropping December 21st, 2022. So next year we're gonna have a nice little Christmas movie. It's supposed to be animated, right? I don't know if that was the correct.
By the same people. Yeah, it's by the same people who did Minions, Illumination.
Oh, that's right. So, we'll see, right? I figure it's gonna be like a Mario and what is it, Mario plus Rabbids style type of kind of knuckleheadedness going on.
Well, I was thinking more like just Mario Odyssey, but full motion picture version. Okay. But that's the way I'm hoping they're gonna go with it.
Yeah,
because if they start throwing in a bunch of characters from other IPs, then it's gonna get real muddled real fast. I mean, just keep it Mario. You'll be okay.
It's good. Look, it's Mario real quick. The character. So we know some of the actors. Mario is gonna be Chris Pratt. Peach is Anya Taylor-Joy. She's from the Queen's Gambit. If you guys haven't seen that. I think it was a limited series, right? Like a 10-episode series on Netflix. It's pretty good. Luigi's going to be our favorite. Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Well, at least my favorite. I'll speak for myself. Bowser is by Jack Black. Donkey Kong by Seth Rogen. Toad will be played by Keegan-Michael Key. And this one's a little controversial. I don't know how you guys feel about this. But it's Charles Martinet is going to play Charles Martinet, meaning there's going to be cameos. Now, I know you're confused, Dalan, but this is the voice of Mario. Like, why didn't they use the voice of Mario for Mario? You know, they just said, nah. Luis, how are you feeling about this, man? Do you feel like they should have used Mario as Mario?
Yeah, I mean, it's strange. It would have been weird, though, if they, pick his original voice actor for 20 years or something, and then have this whole other cast around him. So I'm assuming they're going in a direction that's not necessarily going to be true to the voices necessarily. They're going to have more to say, right? Not just whatever the hell that these characters always say. Yeah. So, I guess we'll see, man. We shall see, but I'm hesitant.
Do you buy what people are saying that is like, well, this guy's like just one-liners. Like, we need someone that will fill the screen or will fill the runtime or whatever it is. Do you buy that? Or they could have done it, man,
I mean, maybe if they had characters around them, because I mean, it kind of worked with, if we're speaking of Illumination, it kind of worked with the Minions, right? They didn't have much to say. They didn't really say anything at all, but the characters around them did speak actual real words. So if they just had the whole movie going on with him going, "Oh, Mario, let's go," like it's not really
it
like
would have been a little wacky. They're going for a different style of wacky, possibly.
Yeah, so maybe it is that.
Dalan, how you feeling, man? Do you feel like it should have been Mario as Mario? Or I kind of like what I'm picking up what Luis is putting down, though. That it's kind of like it is a whole group of different people, right? And he's just kind of the outcast, sort of. But how are you feeling about this, Dan? About the cast,
I think it's just a matter of that they wanted to have star power behind every character, or at least most of the characters. Even though Charles Martinet might have done the character for years, a lot of people, or a lot of basic gamers, don't know that name. Damn, like, people just played Mario. Yeah, they don't know the voice of Mario. I mean, who plays the voice of Princess Peach? Can you name that person right now?
I mean, right now it's gonna be Anya Taylor-Joy. I believe.
See, I mean, that's the thing, is that they wanted the star power behind it, so it'd have more recognition for other younger generation to actually come and see this movie. So it's not so much about the original voice is not just not doing it. It's just the fact that he himself is not as well known right now as Chris Pratt. Obviously, to the older video game community like us, we know who that is. But
and it seems like he's keeping it under wraps too. The voice that he's making for him, they kind of asked him, "Can you do the Mario voice?" It's like, "Oh, no, we'll wait. We'll wait till next year. You guys will hear it, so we'll keep it under wraps." I do. My daughter knows who the Mario voice is because I would say it all the time. Her favorite line in Mario would be like, "Oh no!" that was her favorite Mario line. Not that I do Mario well, but there was a lot of knuckleheadedness in Mario voice act with Charles Martinet. So we'll see. He'll be in there somehow. They're gonna throw him in like
it's probably gonna be like a credits thing, end credits.
They're gonna throw him in
and they'll be able to put a face to the actual voice now. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna throw him in like Stan Lee, right? Like a little Stan Lee cameo. Yeah, he's gonna be pouring coffee or something. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I kind of, I don't know. It's going to be fully animated by the Illumination team. They got a proven track record. I guess it depends how you feel about the Minions movies, right? But, you could say they kind of have at least they could keep the kids happy. And we do have like the mixed media one with Sonic and, kind of that was kind of cool. I kind of like that was better than it needed to be. So,
hey man, this movie is already muddled enough when they decided to throw Donkey Kong in the mix.
Seth Rogen. I mean, I think that's all that's fitting.
Hey, Seth Rogen has nothing to do with it. I'm just talking about the fact that Donkey Kong is in it at all.
Yeah, so we'll see what kind of wackiness they come up with next year.
Is it really? I mean, that's the origins, isn't it?
What?
DK and Mario.
Yeah, but they completely switched it up when they created the first game. Like, Donkey Kong wasn't even like a part of Super Mario Bros. I mean, yeah, he was a part of the Donkey Kong game, but they're two different entities by themselves.
Let's not get it twisted. Let's not act like this. There was a whole lore to this whole thing, and they fully thought it out.
There was no lore.
there was a Donkey Kong game, right? There was a Donkey Kong game, and it was obviously
with
based on King Kong.
The back eventually.
And it was obviously based on King Kong, and Universal and Nintendo had to go into a whole lawsuit for it, right? They had to figure out the naming rights and the lawsuit. Actually, it came out in Nintendo's favor. Actually, you know what had happened? I don't know. That's an interesting story if you guys don't know it, but apparently Universal had let the license lapse the rights to King Kong. So they're like, you don't even have a case because you don't own King Kong. So go ahead, Nintendo, Donkey Kong. And then from there, right, you had Donkey Kong and Mario and Princess Peach and, let's not act like they had all this shit sorted out, all right? Like, they were like, this is the lore Bible.
It was not.
They were definitely running by the seat of their pants. Another thing, so this is the other big thing that came out of the Nintendo Direct was, so Nintendo Switch Online is getting an expansion pack at launch. And Dalan, look, we're predicting shit around here, man.
You said this recently.
We were just talking about how the third-person shooter as we know it, like Gears of War and blah, 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 goes back to Winback. I didn't know it had a full title, but Winback Covert Operations will be the first game at launch for Nintendo's new expansion pack. They didn't say how much more, but they obviously made it known that you have your Nintendo Switch, which is NES, SNES classic games, right? With online play, with Panel de Pon that we love to play. Then we got to play again. So they're adding a different thing called expansion pack, which I'm sure they're going to charge more for it, which is part of the online subscription. one of the first games, Winback. So you're welcome, Dalan, for me to summon that game.
Don't give me that. You're welcome. You were out there talking crap about it. You were like, it's a terrible game. I was like, don't you ever talk smack about Winback, because that's one of my favorite games. You kept getting on me about it.
Look, you got rose-tinted glasses right now, man. I'm glad that they're gonna put this available again for you. And please, please show me how amazing it is. Please remind me of how amazing it is. Anyways, Winback. As I predicted.
It's like trying to go back to Time Crisis. That game is very blocky.
Hey, but that's fun though. You shooting around. Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Yoshi's Story, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Dr. Mario 64, Sin and Punishment. It says first time released out of Japan. I remember playing this, but maybe it was like the GameCube sequel or something like that I played. So maybe it is the first time that Sin and Punishment. I believe it's from Treasure. If you remember, Dan, like the Gunstar Heroes guys, I think it's the same people that made Sin and Punishment. It's that same style of game. And Mario Tennis 64 is going to be day one. Are you guys hyped for any of these? Let's go to Luis, and we know Dalan next. He's all about Winback. But Luis, how you feeling about this expansion pack, the games? How you feeling about that?
I guess I'll say I'm not necessarily super stoked or excited about these specific games launching, but I'm excited for the potential of what games can be added at a later date. So, I mean, I remember playing Mario Tennis on the 64, Yoshi's Story, Star Fox, so I'd be willing to check those out again because I remember they were pretty fun. But, I mean, we all know everybody's waiting to see, praying to whatever gods may be that Conker's Bad Fur Day gets on there some way or another, but we all know that's a whole mess of legal.
I know exactly which game people are waiting for, and Conker's Bad Fur Day
Gemini.
As much as that's not
for
even
Gemini as well.
No, that is not the game. It is the one game that is very well known for the 64. Yes,
it's not on the list. You have to preamble it for like 7 minutes. Just say
hey, man, it's not on either one of the lists. Where's my GoldenEye?
That one's a little tougher. I think we're closer to. Yeah, we're closer to Conker's Bad Fur Day than GoldenEye. Dude, GoldenEye, the whole licensing thing with that. But it does open the door. We're gonna go to it real quick. But on this initial list, and then we'll pop over there to that, Dalan. But on this initial list at launch, or how do you feel about this whole expansion thing? Because they're obviously gonna milk us a little bit more, is what they're saying, right? They just didn't say exactly how much.
They said they're gonna price us more because they're already giving us the NES and SNES for free. So I'm not surprised that they're gonna charge more for more systems to be added. But for the systems themselves, or at least the expansion pack itself, I'm fully down to get this because it's going to have that online capability. I'm down to play Mario Kart 64 online. Don't get me wrong. Winback can be fun, but I was a huge Mario Kart 64
fan. You're going to find out how fun it is, Dan. You're going to find out how fun it is.
I'll tell you what I'm not going to play online is Star Fox 64 because I've seen people play that game online and they glitch the hell out of the game. I'm not gonna.
It's reasonable. You know what? I didn't put the Genesis, but Genesis is gonna be on here too. So let's remember there's gonna be Genesis games as well. And they will release some controllers for it, which we'll get to in a little bit. So some of the later games that will come to it is they've said it's F-Zero X, Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, Pokemon Snap, and the next one that we're kind of hinting at that maybe could see a possible Conker's Bad Fur Day is Banjo Kazooie. They even have Rare came out and made a statement. They said, quote, "It's a pleasure to be ushering the bear and bird onto Nintendo's latest console, offering another modern way alongside Xbox Game Pass and Rare Replay to savor its many collectibles and googly eyes." I do like how Rare's like, look, we're giving you this, but remember, you can already play this crap. It's called Game Pass and it's called Rare Replay. So that kind of, I feel like, opens the door a little bit, right, to what you guys were saying. It's like Conker's Bad Fur Day, right, at least? Because, I mean, it's a Rare-owned thing.
And I suppose tacking on GoldenEye on there as well, right? So another
Donkey Kong 64, let's do it.
See? So, we're ready to go. So that kind of opens the door. We do have, like, the extra controllers. So this is an interesting little tidbit. I hope you guys enjoy this one. But so there's going to be an N64 controller that's sold. It's got extra top buttons on here. If you guys look online, you could see it, that it has extra little buttons. So, it's basically that whack-ass, 3-pronged, whatever mess of a controller that we're thinking of back in the day. So, but it's got little extra buttons, the home buttons and all these other things. Plus,
and it's got a ZR button there up on top. Now it's got a second R button.
Does it have a second R? I think it's got just the
right next to the USB-C is a small ZR button.
Okay, I like it. Okay, Dalan. Hey, you eagle-eyed over here, Dalan. Anyways, this thing will set you back $50. And how I had mentioned that there is going to be a Genesis controller. Now, I like how wacky they're really going about this. So the Genesis controller in the US will be the 3-button configuration. Japan will get the 6-button version. And, of course, someone's going to ask them about it, right? And I believe Nintendo said, oh, man, I should have had an attribution for this. I don't. But somebody quoted, I think it's Nintendo. Quote, for the US and Canada, a replica of the original Sega Genesis controller is the available model. This was by far the more widely used and well-known Sega Genesis controller in these regions. So they're basically like, screw you guys. You know you didn't play with 6-button controllers.
It's only because they didn't give us 6 buttons. It's only because they didn't give us 6 buttons. We didn't have a choice in the matter.
No, dude, then when 6 buttons came out, controller.
Yeah, but that was later when it first launched in America. It only had the 3 buttons, and then later on they
but
gave
in
us
Japan
a
it was the same
controller.
thing though. In Japan they launched with 3 buttons too. They're screwing us over here. So I'm trying to defend them here. All right. At least talk to this man, dude. Talk to the man.
I grew up with the sex. I don't know what to tell you. The one thing I did find weird though is all the games. The button that was above it, diagonally or whatever above it, did the same thing that the one below it did. So I never understood why there were 6 buttons. But whatever.
If you ever play Street Fighter or something, you quickly find out you need those extra buttons on there.
Exactly. It's basically for fighting games.
Hey, look, I think you guys can see it back here, but I got the Genesis. The Genesis Mini. That one comes with the 3-button version as well. Those assholes. I did buy a 6-button version of it, but it's funny that I never played Street Fighter with no 3-button nonsense. And it's weird, dude. You're using an alternate. I think you got to press start or something. And it switches. It gives you the top buttons. It is not the correct way to play any kind of fighter.
This is not how you should be playing a fighting game.
They're ridiculous. And I like how they're keeping up this ridiculousness. We're like, wait. But you guys only remember a 3-button. I like how they're fucking with your memories now. They're like, you guys don't know any better. You don't know there's a 6-button.
They're Mandela affecting us, man.
They really are, dude. I'm like, we can see it. We saw it. And you're releasing a 6-button version somewhere else.
One thing I was actually thinking about when I heard that the 64 and Sega were going to be dropped as expansions, I'm thinking, man, they're getting closer and closer to the Wii. They're going to be adding the Wii to this thing before we know it. And I'm ready for that. All those games on the Wii that need to be re-released properly. You want to play it with an actual Joy-Con.
Look, they're setting the table for that bullshit too, man. Because they're like, there's the Nintendo online experience, blah, blah, plus expansion pack, plus expansion 2, plus expansion 3. So we're going to be paying fucking $50 a month for this Nintendo nonsense by the time they get to the Wii or GameCube or whatever. And I'm going to be ready to play Metroid Prime. Give me Metroid Prime. And okay, are you sure? Take my money. I don't care, But anyways, a couple other little tidbits on there that they announced. I think we had heard about it. We might have even talked about it last week, but Star Wars KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic on the Switch is dropping November 11th. Dalan, you're pretty hyped for it. You will play. I don't think this is the remaster one though, Dalan. Don't get it twisted.
No,
I don't think this is the new remaster. But are you ready for this? You're gonna pick it up on the Switch?
No. I'm not going to pick it up on the Switch. Okay. I was actually wondering whether or not, because it was such a big game, that they'll actually be doing a cloud-based thing for it as well. No, so that was my only thought for it.
No, this shit can run it, dude. This Switch can run it. I mean, what are we doing here, man? Dude, we're talking about Knights of the Republic from 2003. Come on, Dalan. Come on, Dalan. All right,
fine. With this slight blockiness.
I mean, we know the Switch is 3 GameCubes duct taped together, man. But, come on, Dalan. It can run that shit. The cloud games are basically stuff you're running on your PlayStation 5 or something, man. That's when they'll cloud it up. But no, this will be local. How about that? Knowing that, will you download it and play it on your Switch on the go?
Nah, I ain't got time for that.
All right, that's fair. So this next one, they did announce Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's going to be a 3D open world set in a post-apocalyptic world. Hey, man, what more do you want besides a little pink
I think it's just
blob?
one island, though. It's just one island, though.
Well, it's apocalyptic,
It's a singular Forgotten Land, just one.
There you go. I mean, it's there. And the Forgotten Land, dude. That's dropping spring 2022. Dan, how you feeling about the Kirby and Forgotten Land?
Hey, Kirby went Last of Us on it. That's what happened. I saw the trailer for that. I was man, all these buildings are starting to decay and they got monsters roaming around now. And Kirby just shows up and starts murdering things. That's unfair to the monsters.
Oh, yeah, dude. You don't fuck with Kirby. I mean, he can eat people and then gets their powers and destroys them with it. Next one on there, Dalan. You get your Chocobo racing, Dalan. Chocobo GP is dropping 2022. Dalan, what are you hyped about a Chocobo GP? What you
this
doing
was
here?
One of the most ridiculous things I've seen in a while, and
you see a lot of ridiculous shit. Let's be honest, man.
I do see a lot of ridiculous things. This reminds me of the fact that there was a Chocobo racing game. I completely forgot about it. I expunged it from my mind. I just wanted it to go into the ether and never exist again. But here it is, Chocobo GP coming back like it's trying to be Mario Kart 64. And
you'll try it. I'm sure you'll try it. And you want it in your life. You will not be able to deny
I want
yourself.
to try it. I want to try it. Kind of like I wanted to try Diddy Kong Racing and I wanted to try Sonic Racing.
Wait, hold on, Dalan. No, hold on, Dalan. That Diddy Kong Racing and Sonic Racing are not just to try. Those are actually pretty decent racing games in their own right.
And they're all copycats of Mario Kart 64.
Of course. Hey, when I was a youngster, when I was a middle school age Carlos, I didn't know. I was like, Diddy Kong, why would you not want rockets? Why would you not want rockets?
Carlos.
That's when we were getting down with Diddy Kong Racing, dude. They had the little adventure mode or whatever. You had to find the little secret.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, I was more Diddy Kong Racing than Mario Kart 64. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I was. I mean, that's what it was. Hey, but Chocobo GP 2022, Dan, you know you're hyped to grab it, Dalan. Hey, report back, Dalan. Report back, all right? Report back when you fuck
I got
with
enough things on my plate, but I'll probably try it out.
2022,
Carlos,
you'll have time,
Carlos, just gamefly it.
I might. I don't know. Did they say it's going to be digital? Or
I have
sometimes
no
I don't
idea.
I don't know. If it's physical, sure, man. I'll report back. All right?
I kind of zoned out when I realized that Chocobo Racing was happening. Okay.
Well, I'll report back. How about that? If it's physical and I can game fly, I'll grab it. The other thing is Bayonetta 3 2022. You guys didn't seem too hyped for it. Me, I'm just kind of like, I think I might have played 1 and 2, maybe halfway through 2.
I wanted to play them. I have one, and I planned on getting 2, but I just never went back to playing it. And I really need to play it. And why'd you say Bayonetta?
Bayonetta. Are you happy or not? Bayonetta. Just like I say salmon, I'll throw in that L. I'll throw in that L. That's salmon. I'm going to say Bayonetta. All right. Those are pretty cool games. They had kind of like over sexualized, like the hair. She starts to get less clothing, less coverage happens as you keep attacking in those games.
Well, my understanding is that her hair is her clothing.
Yes, and she has braids now. I don't know if you saw that. She has braids now.
So now there's less to work with.
Yeah. So Bayonetta is dropping 2022. It's gonna be a Nintendo exclusive, and I think they were asking the director. I didn't put his name down, my bad. But they were saying like, is it coming out on PlayStation and whatever? And he said, ask Nintendo. Talk to them. Talk to them. I hope he said it that way. I feel like the quote was like, talk to Nintendo about that. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you asking me? I'm just directing them. Now, Dalan, I hope you took advantage, but we did have some surprise drops for the Nintendo Direct as well. Castlevania Advance dropped that day, or the Castlevania Advance Collection dropped, which I believe was 4 games. And then Actraiser Renaissance. So I'm interested to know if you picked it up and in what system. Because, yes, it dropped for the Switch, but also PlayStation 4, PC, iOS, and Android. Did you grab that Actraiser, Dalan, or not?
All right. First off, Castlevania Advanced Collection was not a surprise. We also talked about this in one of our previous episodes. We saw it coming from long on.
No. I'm talking about surprise drop. I'm talking about surprise drop that it came out that day. We have talked about it in the past.
All right.
Surprise
so I guess it was a surprise that it dropped that day.
I mean,
yes.
Words matter, you know?
But Actraiser Renaissance, I know I brought it up at some point before, but Actraiser was one of my favorite games to play when I was younger, and I was very happy to hear with this surprise. Yes, this one was a surprise to me that this Renaissance version of it decided to drop with its updated graphics and remade maps and added some maps and probably some more story. Even though trying to deal with the little cities and building the cities was very frustrating to try and get through each level, to just get to the next part where you get to run around with the knight. That was the best part of the game, was running around with the knight. But
that's what I've heard of that game. Anytime people have talked about it I never played it, right? But anytime like, oh yeah, then you have to build a city. I'm like, no, we'll never play that game. No. We'll never play that game ever in my life. But
what if you also had to roll dice instead?
I would have rolled some dice. I actually would have preferred if it was rolling dice and a deck of cards that you run out of moves to do.
Oh, man.
That you run out of moves. You can't even attack at someone because you fucking run out of attacks.
Man, you hit us with that double whammy real fast.
That's why I brought it up.
So what's up, Dan? Did you pick it up? Did you grab the?
No, I did not pick it up because
I'm a big fan. You are.
No, that was not my issue. Is that I really wanted it that day, but I had just dropped $100 on other games, and I'll come back to that later.
Splurging out here, okay, Dalan, but you will get it at some point. Now
I will get it at some point. For sure.
What console are you gonna get it? Because I think you could get it on sale, most likely on Steam. I believe. I think it was like
that's
20.
Great.
Are you
I probably should grab it on Steam simply because I don't have enough games on PC.
But what about the trophies though?
I don't care about the trophies.
Oh, damn.
Are we out here sharing trophies, Carlos? Are you trying to beat my trophies out?
Nah, I'm not gonna play Actraiser. I mean, you got to build a town at some point.
Wait, didn't you buy it? Wait, didn't you buy it though?
No, I'm not gonna pick that. I gotta build a city at some point, Dalan. I don't got time for that. I gotta raise a city like from bottom to top. I don't know, man. I'm just not dealing with it. It
takes one to build a village, man.
I'm not doing that. All right, that was a Untitled Direct, but we do got a couple more little stories here. Luis, what was the big story for you, man, this past week?
Yeah, so on the topic of not having time for things, it seems like Fortnite, Epic, and Apple actually do have time for some Twitter beef. So they've been going back and forth a little bit, dropping receipts of like full-on screenshots of emails and all this stuff. So
they're not
Fortnite will remain blacklisted on the Apple App Store until further notice. And so, I mean, as we covered previously, basically Epic immediately said right after the court ruling and after the Apple paid Apple $6 million, they said, we're going to repeal this right now. Mm-hmm. So, but I guess in tandem on September 16th, they sent an email, Tim Sweeney sent an email to Apple and said, hey, we're going to play by the rules. We're going to disable payment server side. And then basically the ball's in your court. But the way that they phrased it, which is what I put here in the quote, was quote unquote, whether Epic chooses to bring Fortnite back to iOS consumers to iOS consumers depends on whether and where Apple updates its guidelines to provide for a level playing field between Apple in-app purchases and other methods of payment. And 5 days later, on the 21st, Apple basically said no shot.
No.
And what they started doing was showing them receipts with like quoting specific like guidelines. ECF number 812 at line 17879.
Yeah, I was looking at your notes right now, dude. You're going hard, man.
ID at 179. You said this. They were basically saying you were acting like a bitch. You're still suing us, so no shot. And I think it was basically because of their phrasing, on top of the fact that they're repealing the case. But they said, whether we decide to bring it depends on whether you decide to. So they're like, well, we're deciding anyway, so we'll just say no. Like, you know? Oh, yeah. But in that email, Apple replied to them 5 days later, quote, Apple will not consider any further request of reinstallment until the district court's judgment becomes final and, quote unquote, non-appealable. I highlighted that because that's not actually a word, but
I like it. I like it.
So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because to me, at least, right? That's the whole point. Interesting to me.
Yeah, but, exactly.
They could have just said no longer appealable. It's fine.
Yeah, no, but still the whole thing in general, because it's like, how are you going to hit up Apple and say, hey, can you please put this up on the store again? We'll play by the rules, but by the way, we're still suing you. It's like, well...
Well, there's like a little bit of pettiness So on both sides, right? I think
definitely.
Mainly Apple, because I think Epic is making it public, right? And then it's like, look, we're trying to get our game up there. And Apple's like, you understand, you created this whole fucking kerfuffle, right? Like, you understand that now we're doing this, like, we're in the mix here, and you're over here like, can we go back up though? Like, we're good, right? And we paid you. We paid you what the judge said to pay you. So I like it. It's all nice out in the open. They're over here airing their dirty laundry, getting everyone mixed up, because at some point it was Microsoft up on the stand, right? Like, there was all kinds of people on there. Was it PlayStation 2? Oh, that's where we got the whole PlayStation thing. It was like, oh, it didn't trigger compensation. It's like all these people got mixed up in it, and then they say, yeah, but can we get like up on your store again? Like, can we get there now?
No shot.
Hey, now where do we get there's a thing that said at least 5 years or something like that, right? Like, is that from the appeals and all that process?
No, somebody had tweeted that basically, I guess, what was his name? You send tweets of his to the chat all the time. But
you talking about Colin Moriarty?
No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. But basically just saying, like, on average, these cases last about 5 years. So they're saying it's looking like maybe 5 years until possibly it gets added back in.
So, and that's what kind of Apple's comeback was, right? When the judgment becomes final and non-appealable. So they're adding like all these things. Were like, that's 5 years right there in that sentence. Dalan, any thoughts on this before we move on?
Man, they're just doing absolutely too much in this little squabble of theirs. I was definitely hoping Epic would just outright win, but I guess they had their lose-lose situation, and now they're just dealing with the fallout. So Apple's just waiting for the whole storm to clear. So I guess Apple's just like, you know what? We can just wait it out. Whatever you guys want to do, go do it. We're gonna respond, but no, we're not putting it back up.
They're being petty in a way, understandably petty, I guess, because they are getting sued, right? And it became this whole thing. But they're also like, nah, we're just not gonna bring you back up. It's fine. You know, we created those whole thing. You got to wait this crap out now at this point. But we love it. We love it. So the whole little Twitter beef, little Twitter drama, and millions and billions of dollars at stake. So it's I
can still say Fortnite is not as big as when it started. Obviously, it's still big and still a huge moneymaker, but I'm sure that Apple could find another game that they could throw on their iOS that could start to match.
No, I mean, Apple has like the whole ecosystem, dude, and it's not just games, right?
The whole ecosystem. It has the whole ocean.
This really kind of more affects Epic, I would say, than Apple. Whereas, of course, it affects Apple because they get a chunk of that money, right? But it's not just Fortnite, right? They have everything. They have applications. They have all kinds of stuff that they're gonna get money from, right? So it's. Yeah. They're good. It still impacts them, right? Because I'm sure they would like to get some of that juice from that game. But you know, they'll be fine. We'll see. I like it.
Now, I have a question. Do you think that Epic would be doing as well if they were just like, you know what? We're just gonna take our game back specifically, and it's just gonna be on PC unless one of these other companies decide to make a contract with us?
I mean, you can still get it on Android, technically.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can still get it on Android right now. But let's say they decided, you know what, we're going to flip the script. We're just going to have this whole service of Fortnite where people want to play these games. And if you want these people to be able to play the game on your system, then you could pay us to be able to allow it to contract out to your system. Do you think that they would actually do good in that respect?
Trying to understand.
Carlos is out there looking very confused.
I'm trying to understand the question, Dylan. Because it's on everything. Because it's on everything. Maybe what you're saying, like, do you want an exclusive?
Understands what I'm talking about.
Do you want an exclusive? I would assume. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
That's essentially what it would be. Like, they could make it their own exclusive game and say, all right, PlayStation, if you want this game to continue to be on your PlayStation, you'll have to pay us. And if they decide, no, we don't want it on our system anymore, they could just keep it directly to PC.
Yeah,
and they can do that with any system that they want.
But the thing is, they already get a chunk of that, man, on everything that it's on PlayStation, Xbox, Android, or whatever. It's all, This is what the fight has been about, though. Is that Apple? Thank you for listening, Dalan, for the last 7 months on the podcast. But this is what the battle has been, Dalan, is that Apple is not allowing them to, like, on their own, like, charge or kind of microtransaction. You have to go through the Apple Store.
But that's at the same time only if they keep the game on the Apple.
It's not on there though because of this whole thing, because of this whole situation.
Well, not right now. It's not. I understand that, but they could say the same thing about any other platform that they have their game on. They could just say, all right, we're going to take it down from your platforms unless you pay us.
Yeah, I think the quick answer to that is I don't think that would be a smart thing to do. Because they're already making money on those platforms. Why would they give them an ultimatum to say, hey, by the way, we're fighting with these guys over here, but if you want the game still, pay us. They're going to be like, nah. And then they lose more money.
We're not paying you. Goodbye, game.
I mean, Sony's already triggering compensation. So,
we're triggering compensation out here, Dan. You know who else is triggering compensation pretty soon, though? Those SWOLEDs that are coming out pretty soon. There's impressions of the SWOLED already out there, which is a Switch OLED. If you guys haven't been listening to the
yeah, it's a stupid word. I know.
It's the SWOLED. It's coming out. It's the Switch OLED. What is it? Model? OLED model or whatever it is. It's only 1080p according to Dalan. It's got to be 4K to be considered OLED, even though the Vita was maybe like 720p. But anyways, besides the point, Steven Totillo's been I kind of enjoy this guy. He's over there at Axios. He drops a newsletter, and you guys should sign up to the newsletter over there. He did ask a Nintendo rep about the Joy-Cons, if they're going to be any different, and they basically told him the Joy-Cons haven't changed. So that drift is possible, even on that new SWOLED. But he did say, this is from Steven Totillo, he's played with the SWOLED a little bit. He said, quote, "Only when I look over at my original Switch did I again feel the impact of the screen size. Games on that one now feel like they're playing in a picture frame. None of this impacts playing Switch on the TV, as the OLED model doesn't run games at better frame rates or resolutions." And that's the more logical thing I feel from all of this. It's like, it doesn't really matter resolution wise or frame rates wise. It's not beefier in that sense. It's probably beefier enough to run an OLED, right? But other than that, it's like if you put it on your TV, it's the same performance, same frame rate, same everything. Dalan, I want to know, because you just we have a yes or no on the rundown. Dalan put, I don't care about this, and he changed his answer. So real quick, Dalan, what made you change your answer over here? Please to explain.
Before we started our recording today, I had just read a news article where a guy had said, thanks to the most recent Nintendo Direct, I have officially canceled my pre-order for the SWOLED, simply because
he said SWOLED.
It's not going to do me any good. I did say SWOLED.
No, I hope he said SWOLED.
No, he didn't say SWOLED.
Ain't nobody saying SWOLED, man. What are we doing? Go ahead, Dalan.
No, that was it. He was just like, nope, I'm just going to cancel it now. I have no reason for this new system. I'll just keep my old Switch and just play Metroid Dread on that. So why would you need an OLED Switch? Carlos, give me one good reason outside of a larger screen that you would need.
No, there's no logic.
Ethernet.
Yeah. Oh, and the Ethernet cable too.
And what are you gonna do with that Ethernet cable?
And the widescreen stand now. It's a wide stand. It's not just
you know what you're gonna do, Dalan?
Hey man, we got enough makeshift stuffs. We got labos. Use your labo and make a stand.
Well, Dalan, did that guy say why not? I mean, why not? I mean,
I didn't read the whole article. That was the main part of it.
Luis, what are your thoughts on this, man? On the SWOLED and the Joy-Con are still gonna be drifting out here.
Yeah, I mean, that was mainly it. The Joy-Con thing is like, I don't know. It's like,
sigh.
So they're giving a different dock, I guess a different non-really, but kind of 4K screen. And then the Joy-Cons are the same. I'm assuming to them that was so that they could be compatible with other Switches, but they could have still made them compatible. Just change the joystick. Whatever.
Yeah, not use the same drift mechanism that the PlayStation.
But I guess if they start drifting,
Xbox
you probably have another one lying around that you could just connect to it. So
I do, man. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but I bought an extra pair of Joy-Cons. The ones I'm using now are like, I had bought new ones because of the drifting. Or actually, yeah, I think it was drifting. I think one of them was drifting
enough. That's the only reason I bought some.
That I was like, you know what? Whatevs. All right, whatevs. But yeah, the SWOLED, apparently I'm hearing good things. But yeah, Dalan, to answer your question, I don't think there's any reason. I mean, if you're a portable only gamer, the screen's gonna look beautiful, man. The OLED, you can really tell the difference. I don't need to look at this one. I've seen the Vita 1.0, Vita 2.0, and damn, that OLED is beautiful compared to the LED version. But there's really no logical reason, especially it's not really beefier. And like Totillo said, it's like if you put it on your TV, doesn't give you better frame rates, doesn't give you better resolution. So if you play your Switch on your TV, there's no reason. If you play it portably, There you go. You get a prettier screen, bigger screen. But that's good. We'll see. OLED. I'm sure I'll be convinced at some point. There'll be a deal or something, and I'm like, gotta have it.
I figured out why the guy decided to cancel his pre-order. It was the fact that with the Nintendo Direct, he was hoping that there would be an announcement of some new games that might actually entice him to want to use this new OLED screen. Like, it's a bigger screen. Maybe they're going to be launching a game that's specifically good for the Switch, the SWOLED, as you like to call it.
You can call it whatever you want, Dalan. Don't let me control your words. Say whatever you want.
OLED.
Oh,
damn. But it just turns out that there's no games that are specifically for this new Switch. So aside from Metroid Dread, which we could play on the initial Switch and still put on our TV at the same resolution, why would I need it?
And the counter to this guy is like, you should have known, man. They never said like it's gonna run games better. It's gonna look prettier. It's just gonna look prettier, right? I do play it portably a lot.
On the move. Yeah. That's the only time.
And I usually play the Switch on the move, but again, 350, they'll convince me at some point, but not yet. Not yet. The next one we have on here, Crystal Dynamics might be bringing in some help to the initiative. They're going to help out with the new Perfect Dark. I do have some quotes from DMC Ryan McCaffrey. He works at IGN. You hear some tweets that he threw out there. He said the quote unquote, why Crystal? Seems pretty obvious to me. Square owns them and Microsoft doesn't. Portion notwithstanding, the initiative studio head, Daryl Gallagher, came from Crystal Dynamics, so I'm sure he's the connective tissue on this. And he also said, thinking through this more, I think the bottom line is pretty simple here. The initiative is a new studio that was affected, slowed down by the pandemic, just like everyone else. Daryl saw that Perfect Dark would take years more at this pace, so he called his Crystal Dynamics pals to get it done much faster. Is there anything much more to this, Luis, than it's like bring in some help? Let's get this Perfect Dark game out the door.
Was Perfect Dark on 64?
What, Dalan?
I asked if Perfect Dark was on the 64. I'm sorry.
Yes, man. Yeah, it was like one of the late games. Majora's Mask, right?
Okay, so
Paper Mario,
is it not good?
Perfect
Is it coming
Dark,
out for
and Conker's Bad Fur Day. Huh?
Oh, okay.
It was like late 2000, 2001. They were still dropping games on the N64. But
sorry, I cut you off, Luis. What were you going to say, though?
Go ahead, Luis,
to answer your question, the initiative is a Microsoft studio, so it might be an exclusive. But I think the only reason this is probably really any news is because people can actually connect the dots here to why a studio is helping another studio. I mean, this has been going on for years at this point, where other studios are helping each other out with creating assets or whatever. So yeah, I don't think there's much to this. I think it's just someone helping another studio out, trying to make their deadline.
It was like they made a public statement, hey, we're coming in to help out Crystal Dynamics. And maybe because it's so reputable, right? I mean, not with the last Avengers, right? They haven't really blown up too much, but Crystal Dynamics is a pretty damn good team. So I think people sometimes make the assumption like, oh, that project is in trouble. What are they doing? It's like, and they don't think, like, I know somebody, I think it was Jeff Grubb, was mentioning about how it's like Nintendo's been doing this crap forever. For F-Zero GX or whatever, Sega came in and helped with that. Like, there's a lot of different games that actually you get help from other companies. They just don't blow up. And I think Perfect Dark has been such an anticipated title that they're like, are they in trouble? Damn, they're already in trouble. They're bringing Crystal Dynamics. But I mean, I feel like that it's as clear as that, right? It's like, I mean, we won't know. We won't know until we start seeing more of the game, right? But at this point, you just kind of can only assume, give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, right? That it's like, let's get it out the door. Let's get it out the door. Yeah. So, and speaking of Crystal Dynamics, so they did mention that the Marvel's Adventure Spider-Man DLC will have cutscenes and a story, which someone was interested in it, but you guys just put no. So good job on this.
Dalan is live editing all his responses.
Good job, Dalan. Good job.
No,
so real quick,
I read it incorrectly. That was my problem.
So
it's
real
Marvel's
quick, then,
Avengers.
to get past it, that to me is kind of signifies that it's not like a quick. Just let's slap Spider-Man on here. It's gonna have cutscenes and a story, but I do like how that's their quote. Cutscene. It will have cutscenes in the story, so we'll see. I haven't dipped back into Avengers. The campaign was kind of nice, so it gave me like little Uncharted light vibes. So we'll see.
Wait, that was the one with the new female superhero as the main character in the story, right?
Yeah. Which was pretty cool, man. If you haven't played, the campaign's pretty cool on it from what I played.
Well, I'm thinking if they're gonna have the Spider-Man DLC, I guess they're going the same way they did with Black Panther, and they just want to add a bunch of stuff to it. So I'm like, do I really want to go out of my way to get this game? Because when it first dropped, I had the chance to get the game, but then I said to myself, nah. And then I watched I watched my friend Jeremy Hitchcock play it, and I was just like, man, I'm so glad I didn't get this game.
It does have a multiplayer component, so I don't know if it dropped for free or if it was super cheap at some point. So if you ever want to hit that up, well, we can go there. This one, I know Luis was gonna like this because he did. Luis, we're waiting for your follow-up article at We Got Cons, but this was Luis's one article. Oh, there you go. We'll get the updated one. But Luis, one of his first articles on WeGotComs.com, I'm sure you guys can look it up on the site. He was talking about how the PlayStation chat's all borked, which I agree. I don't know if that's the word you use, but it was all messed up. But now PlayStation's out here saying they said that there are still many PS5 features to add. Luis, what do they got to add, man? Just off the top of your head.
I will say that based off of their last update, the one thing that I didn't think was actually going to be really interesting, I did actually end up editing the entire PS menu icons all over. So I move some stuff around, remove some things, and I didn't think I was going to do that. So that was a pleasantly surprising update for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they just got to add temporary parties back in. That's the gist of it for me.
We're having all these permanent parties, and then we gotta leave all these parties.
Oh, you guys delete them, leave them, all kinds of knuckleheads.
Gotta keep track of them. It's annoying, dude. It really is.
So I do like that they made that statement, right? Like, it's like there's still more things to add, and I'm looking at my watch. So I'm like, it's like a year after launch, right? And we're still dealing with basic crap that you guys solved in PS4 eras. It reminds me though of that's kind of what happened during the PS4 too initially, right? Like the PS3 had all kinds of different features than that we came to expect from a PlayStation ecosystem, and then PS4 at launch was like, what? Where's this? Where's that? Where's this?
Yeah, we had to find the chats, and it was frustrating to find them. We couldn't find our PlayStation Messenger anymore, and we had to get used to that new. What do you want to call it? I want to call it an XMB, but it's not XMB
X-bar or whatever, or no crossbar.
Yeah, they're crossbar. Yeah. I don't know what to call it specifically right now. But when they went from when they went from their PS3 crossbar to their PS4 crossbar, everybody was like, "Okay, what happened? Where'd everything go?" And then we got used to that, and everybody was like, "Okay, now it's perfect. I could do everything I wanted." And then they dropped PS5, and we're like, where did everything go?
Well, we still don't know where everything went.
Hey, man, they still haven't fixed the video media player, because I used to be able to watch my movies or TV shows on my PS4, and then when I went to PS5,
which ones though? I mean, you're obviously connected to streaming services. So, what are you trying to watch?
All right, look, for example. Anime, because I would be able to easily watch my subtitled anime.
Oh, you're getting Crunchyroll for free.
Yeah, but you're getting Crunchyroll for free, or you're paying for it. So how? What else are you putting on there?
No, there would be animes that haven't actually showed up on Crunchyroll yet, or animes
that how are you accessing those then if they're not available legally?
Or anime that I paid for and downloaded specifically, and I was able to use them on my PlayStation, but on PS5, when I start plugging in my hard drive and have these files ready to go, it doesn't even recognize the fact that it's there at all.
Well, just to remind you, Dalan, all these statements are public. They're going to be published and legally binding. So, but look, we're still looking for all this stuff.
Legally binding.
Next on here is this one. I thought was a quick, interesting little thing, but Bethesda said that they bought Deathloop actor Jason Kelly a copy of the game in PlayStation 5, since he himself doesn't have one, and he's actually the main character in the game. So I do like the fact that the main character on one of the biggest games, Deathloop, the guy was like, I don't have one, and Bethesda's like, we got you. We got you. Luis,
Wait, so how did they even find a PS5 to buy? They was one
see, really did you see what I just did there, Carlos? I filled in yes for them on that one, because he's been saying no for the past two. I was like, he's probably going to say something.
Come on, David.
All right, so that was a question. All right, but I'll leave it alone. Go ahead.
Dude, they have these systems around, man. What was there was something going around on Twitter, Luis. I don't know if you can back me up on this, but that they bought like 40 PS5s for the whole company or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
I was actually thinking about that too.
I don't know if it was Deathloop, but it was
some game that just came out, right?
Yeah,
it was coming out.
And like, oh, to congratulate everyone on the team, here you go. Which always kind of trips me up a little bit, because you would think that developers like are up to date and they have PlayStation 5s and they have Xbox Series X's and all that. But no, you guys are over here, but you can still develop without necessarily having the final product, I guess. Is that?
Well, I mean, that's why they have dev kits. In
I looked it up. Project Eve developer CEO purchased PS5s for all 260 staff members.
I said 40, man. I was they got those. They might have scalped them or something. They must have about scalped. What are your thoughts on this before we move along here, Luis?
That was just it. It was supposed to be a quick one. We moved on from. I was just going to say, I wonder if they scalped it, and then we were going to go to the next story.
I'm sure. I'm
too late for that.
I'm sure, dude. That many. I'm sure some of them legitly they got or whatever, and other ones are like, I guess we're paying double the price now to prove we're buying them off of Prue now. The next one on here, Neil Druckmann, and since Dalan doesn't know who he is, he's the creative director of Uncharted and Last of Us. Dalan, he said, quote, when I first saw them on set in full costume, I was like, holy shit, it's Joel and Ellie. And he did a little crying emoji, I believe that's what that is. And so we got a screenshot of a couple of the characters, a couple of the actors. Maybe you can help me out here, Luis. And they're looking at a like crash. And I don't know if you guys saw this. I didn't put it on here, but somebody put this up as the Windows. If you guys remember the Windows screen or whatever, that it was a rolling hill from like Windows XP or whatever it was. Like, this is what has happened
that bright
in that
green
time.
Hill.
Yeah, and so I have another piece to this, but real quick on that, Luis, how are you feeling about the screenshot here?
Yeah, that's honestly the most I would ever want to see about this until I watch it. Like, just seeing characters in on set, and that to me is like, oh, it like is a real thing. Like, now there's something tangible for me to.
And if you guys don't know, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but this straight up the Mandalorian you're looking at right there, Dalan. It's Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal.
They've announced both of them.
The Mandalorian himself is right there. Separate from that, and we're talking about the Last of Us multiplayer is full steam ahead, apparently, Luis, or they're at least working on it. Naughty Dog said, for now, we'll say that we love what the team is developing and want to give them time to build out their ambitious project. We'll reveal more when it's ready. But they did say, we're working on The Last of Us multiplayer. We've been busy growing our team inside the kennel since The Last of Us Part 2 launched and are currently in full swing of hiring for multiplayer-related positions. Hint, hint. That was from Naughty Dog's Rochelle Snyder. I do like how they said, this threw me off a little bit, but when I read it, it's like, we're growing our team inside the kennel. I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh, that's right. Naughty Dog. It's in the name.
That's what they call it.
It's in the name. Lisa, any thoughts on that before we move on? The multiplayer side of things?
Yeah, I don't know if we should expect any news on that front anytime soon at all. It's just them sort of confirming they're working on it, I guess. I mean, it seems, my assumption is that maybe either they let a lot of contractors go or a lot of people quit after The Last of Us 2, so they're trying to fill
that in
some positions, right? But
okay.
Yeah.
They said it was going to be standalone, or they'll just update the main like game?
They haven't said, but I'm assuming it might be standalone.
Okay, we'll see. So we'll see. I did like the original one. We'll see what comes out of this next one. I know you really liked it. You really enjoyed the original's multiplayer. Please. So we'll see what happens with this next one. The next one we have on here, Resident Evil 4 finally gets a release date. Resident Evil 4 VR, which is an Oculus 2 exclusive. It comes out October 21st. Dalan, do you have your Oculus 2 ready and lined up, ready to go for Resident Evil 4 VR?
I forget. One of my friends let me borrow his Oculus Rift, so I don't have an Oculus 2. But I keep thinking to myself when I see something like this, especially for older games that have been gone and should stop being made, or at least re-released, unless they're going to remake it. Hey man, they went the way of Skyrim. You keep buying it, we'll keep releasing it. Exactly. That's what it is.
Would you grab yourself an Oculus Quest 2 for this, Dalan?
I want an Oculus Quest 2 just to have an Oculus Quest 2 for the games that I could be playing on it. But I ain't got the money for all that.
Okay. Oh, there it is. There's the Quest. If you guys are looking at the video, there goes Luis's Quest 2. So, Luis, you're ready for that? You're ready for that Resident Evil 4? You're ready for that Resident Evil 4 VR or no?
I suppose I am prepared with the hardware, but I'm not buying this thing.
I like it.
Yeah. I was gonna say basically what Dalan said. It's like I don't know why other developers don't get the same crap that like Rockstar has gotten for only releasing GTA 3 times when we got Resident Evil being re-released from the entire franchise multiple times. And we got Skyrim coming out. Now they're dropping a new DLC for it on the Switch for Skyrim.
And Final Fantasy X got re-released. I don't know how many times.
Resident Evil 4 is like a special offender too, man, because that game's been out since like 2004, I think. Or like 2003, 2004. Or maybe 05. I think it's one of the last GameCube games, I think, or close to it.
Keep buying it.
Because look, yes, you're right. We keep giving GTA 5 crap, but it came out in 2013, so it's not to the level of Resident Evil 4. But I'm kind of I played the original. I really liked Resident Evil 4 at the time. It's definitely the best Resident Evil game at the time, I believe. Before they remade the originals, so I had a lot of fun with it. But I'm not. Yeah, no. I've been looking for excuses to get the Oculus Quest 2, man, but I guess I just don't have an excuse yet, but we'll see. We're all kind of.
I don't think there's enough high-powered or really good VR games that are good enough for me to say, you know what, I need to go out of my way to get a VR Oculus Quest just so I can play these games.
The Room.
I haven't found that game. Come on, well, Beat Saber I can now play on the PSVR. All right, and I have my Rift, and I could do it. But now I have the Rift S that my friend let me borrow. I can play it on the Rift S, and there's a bunch of these same type of games that eventually the only reason I even got a PSVR was because I played. I want to call it Tale of Despero, but that's not the game. What was the name of the mouse game? And they're coming out with part 2 for it.
Quill, right?
Quill. No, Moss. It's called Moss. Yeah.
Moss, yeah. So Moss, Super Hot, and Beat Saber all being on the PSVR made me say, all right, that's it. I need a PSVR. Right. But Oculus Quest doesn't have that same feeling for me.
I think for you, Dennis, is you yourself don't have a VR unit, right? A Quest 2 would be like, I want Resident Evil 4, I want Beat Saber, and you can also plug it into your computer, so it becomes sort of a de facto Rift. In that way, but I don't blame you, man. These VR, look, I don't know. I was thinking about VR the other day. I was like, maybe I should play that Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is getting new DLC. And I was like, maybe I want to dip into it. It's like, yeah, but how much do I want a headache though? Like, how much do I really want to deal with that shit?
Do I really want to pass out?
Do I really? I won't pass out like you, Dalan, while we were playing co-op. I could hear the whirls. I could hear the whirls. All right, I could hear Dalan go, whoa, and then it's like, oh, he definitely collapsed.
That Farpoint game, man. I just got out of the hospital. I shouldn't have been playing it at the time.
Wow.
Oh, hey! I will say, I pictured Dan. I mean, PSVR. You got the cables all over the place, and he just went whoa, and I was like, he's gone. Hey,
That's not how it went down.
Real quick on this last one, for those of you who care, and I know you care, Dalan, but apparently it's easier to get emulators running on your Xbox Series S and X via the Edge browser. We're talking GameCube, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2. Everybody can get it. So if you guys are interested, make sure to look that up online. But I guess you can emulate everything, and everybody can get it. We'll move on to what you've been playing, Luis. We got you on here. You got a little sushi emoji, so I'm assuming that can only be one game. Ghost of Tsushima. How you been feeling about that?
Good. I got the feeling that I was nearing the end of the game, so I kind of halted all my progress and decided to just clear out the map of all the Mongol influence, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I'm working my way up to the third section of the map, at the top. So yeah, I cleared up the bottom, the middle, and now I'm heading back to the main story soon. So.
Now you're doing all this without like trophy considerations. You're just like, let me clear all the outposts. Okay, you're having enough fun with that. Did you made it through the whole story yet, or no? You're just
I just got the feeling it was winding up to some sort of climax or something. Wow. So,
all right, I got you. Yeah, what about you, man? What you been playing? I am kind of hyped about this first one you got listed on here. You got Kenna, right?
I called it Kenna Majora's Mask.
Oh, see, I thought those were 2 games. See, I really hate that you guys do this. Like, real quick, people don't know, but we have the rundown here. And I don't know why you guys think it needs to be a mystery. It really doesn't. Luis puts like a sushi emoji. Dalan puts Kenna Majora's Mask. Okay.
Hey, mine was not a mystery. It's semicolon. You understand what semicolon. Anyways, continue. It's actually called Kenna Bridge of Spirits. But I went out of my way. One of those games that I said I dropped $100 for. One of those games was Kenna, and I am fully satisfied with the fact that I purchased this game.
Not to
Carlos,
spoilers,
I'm not gonna do any spoilers, but I will say, Carlos, regardless of the fact that I got it digitally, I fully advise purchasing this game, especially if you like those type of adventure games that doesn't really take up too much of your time. Because again, I just bought it like Thursday.
I did hear it was short, and that's actually a little more convincing to me to hear. Did you beat it already?
I did beat it already. Okay. I beat it already, and I almost platinumed it. And I almost platinumed it, and I'm about to go through the game a second time, so I can platinum it. Okay. And the game was fairly, I'm not even going to say fairly, it was extremely fun. There are some levels in there where I could say this is my favorite level in the whole game, and I am 100% down to see a part 2 of this game. Okay. So nice. It is an excellent game. It's beautiful.
How long we thinking here? How long we talking here to that first playthrough?
And my first playthrough and getting everything and actually searching around and getting stuff, because most of it, I will say that it seems pretty open world, but it's fairly linear in itself as well. It's like there are things and spots of the maps. So if you really just sat down and played it, maybe 10, 12 hours your first time if you really don't know what you're doing.
Okay. That seems that seems pretty decent. 10 to 12. That was Outer Worlds, not Outer Wilds. Outer Worlds. It was about 10 to 12 hours. So.
But I'll tell you right now, they did a great job with the score in the game, because by the time I got to the end of the game, I got into the music. I was into that music.
Oh, so it's one to play with headphones and everything, right?
You play it with headphones. They got some awesome enemies that they're very creative with their enemies. Even though it might seem like there are some cookie cutter enemies, at some point you realize they're not. And it actually gradually becomes a harder game.
Now, once you beat the game, can you like chapter select and kind of go back and get collectible?
Unfortunately, no.
You gotta play through it again.
Yeah, you could. It'll do this. It'll do a save point at the last place at the very end, like just before you're fighting the last boss. So you could actually turn right around and leave.
Now, right, you say Kenna Majora's Mask. Do you mean like sort of like the way that Majora's Mask plays out, where you're like, you have 3 days and you're going back in time type of stuff, or just the gameplay?
Just the gameplay. You got like 3 temples you got to go through, and you got to get these specific items in order to get through those 3 temples. So it's kind of like that. As you go on, you just need more. I'm going to say rot in this case. I know you don't know what rot is, but that's something you got to figure out. You got to play the game.
It sounds like that whack-ass mechanic for Far Cry 2, Dalan, where I had some
never
kind
played
of...
Far Cry 2.
Far Cry 3, you had like a parasite or some kind of... or malaria. Malaria would creep up on you like after going into the water, and you're like, okay, it's the right time for malaria to hit. Now I get to drown. Now I get to drown in the middle of the water.
No. Okay. Rot is just that's the name for the little spirits that you have, and you collect them throughout the game, and that's what gives you more powers.
Hey, you kind of sold me on it, man. I might have to pick it up. You did play something else, even though full well knowing that within a month they were not going to replace the dialogue. You're talking about you played Tales of Arise, right? Then how's the dialogue treating you?
In Tales of Arise, they actually did fix the dialogue, because it was just dialogue was missing from the demo, and in this case they actually added all that dialogue that I come to enjoy. And on top of that, they have a battle system that I'm not mad at, and they actually I feel like they improved upon it between the demo and the actual game, and having the backstory very much helps.
Okay, there you go. Now you're saying the demo, they just hadn't put in the audio. So you didn't want to read was the issue originally.
They didn't put audio in certain sections, and there would be points where you're supposed to have these little skits that you have where, the characters come up and they're supposed to talk. And they forced me to read that during the demo. So that was upsetting. But in the actual game, they actually input the dialogue, and now I don't have to read.
Look, as we know, you hate reading, Dalan. We went to go see the Demon Slayer
reading,
movie.
But I will read.
We went to see the Demon Slayer movie, Luis. I don't know if I told you this story already. Yeah. But the subtitles came up, and Dale's like, "Oh, damn, I'm gonna have to read." Like, and then he sat back and was like, "I guess I'm gonna have to read today." And I was like, "Oh man, I didn't know. I didn't know that was gonna be an issue."
Again, for me, it's just that the subtitles takes my eyes away from the actual scenery on the screen. So it's more so it's a distraction in that factor rather than I don't like to read. I don't mind reading. I just don't want to follow along the visuals and read at the same time because my eyes will definitely not see what's happening.
I would say, you know what? Then I would say read faster. The second thing I will say is, Demon Slayer season 2, right? I think December 2nd or something like that, or it's first week of December. Soon. We're grabbing it soon. But speaking of dialogue, though, Dalan, I did finally beat Judgment, the original Judgment from 2018. And I love the way that game lets you skip dialogue, man. Like, you can hear it out, you can do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, I'm just skipping. There's a lot of crap going on right now. Let me read it. Boop, 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 going real fast. So I love how you can, although you will sometimes, a couple times by mistake, I will have skipped the dialogue and all of a sudden somebody's on the ground. I'm like, why are they on the ground now? Why? They were just standing upright. And now they're on the ground. So every so often it screws you over, but it more than makes up for the fact that you can skip around. I did get to the end of Judgment. I did make it in time for the Friday release of Lost Judgment, but I think I'm going to wait for Lost Judgment to try to get it a little cheaper through GameFly, get it for like $40 or something. Because I looked at that $60 price tag and I was like, I really love
these $60 price tags are starting to hurt us right now.
They're starting to hit a little different. And I was like, you know what? I'm a GameFly. I'll do it like that. I'll grab it for $40 that way. But I will say this: that Judgment ending, man, I'll put it in one word, and I put it here on the rundown. Satisfactory, dude. Just how stupidly wild that ending happens. It's so stupidly dramatic, right? Like if you see like a drama or something like that, where it's like, no, you did this. Oh, well, here's a shocker. And like nothing but like little twist at the end. It was super nice. So I am kind of looking forward to the next one. Other than that, I played Deathloop. Deathloop, I'm kind of getting into it. We already know it's an arcane game.
But you said you had to force yourself to really play it, right?
I was kind of forcing me a little bit because at some point it's like, let me teach you this. Like, stop trying to teach me shit. You know, it's like when you have a bug in front of your eyesight or whatever, you're trying to like shoo it away. And they're like, oh, but if you use this mechanism, like, I don't care. Get away from me. But
I'm doing is working.
What I'm doing is working. And at some point, it kind of stopped working. So, it definitely gives me those vibes of Dishonored for sure. If you guys didn't like Dishonored, it gives you those vibes. But I do kind of, like I said before, I like the style, like the dialogue, the acting in it is pretty nice. Too bad that the actor didn't himself have a PlayStation and is finally catching up to himself in the game.
The most arcane arcade game.
The most arcane-ass arcane game. But I'm kind of digging it. As long as I can kind of shoot my way through the action, which I've been able to do, and I'm kind of understanding the mechanisms and like, okay, get to this room, bank this, get to this safe spot. As long as that keeps me interested, I'll keep messing with it. I dig it. This past weekend, I didn't get too many matches in, but I did get one in. So I did try out Halo Infinite. I got into one of those quote unquote flights or the demos. I like it, man. I forgot how much I miss Halo, man. Like it is floaty. It is like, you got to take the shield down. You got to knock them out. It's always a combination, like a 1-2 punch. And I think Dale mentioned it. Maybe this is what he was referencing. I'll have to talk to him about it some more. But it does feel kind of like a combo sort of game where you're shooting, you're punching, or grenade. Like there's got to be like a combination of like, you got to take the shield down, you got to shoot, you got to punch, you got to, and I know people are mentioning a grappling hook, so I don't know, maybe I was messing up, I didn't know the controls for it, but there's like a grappling hook somewhere around. So I'm definitely kind of looking forward to some Halo, man. And me and you, Dalan, right? We've been playing Halo.
Yeah, I forgot we were playing the original Halo. I didn't even put that on my list. I still need to go back through those 3 games, man. And we finally got past that mission where we thought it was a defend the captain mission, but in reality, we just had to get him somewhere. No, we just had to get him somewhere.
Yes, an escort mission, a bullshit ass escort mission.
I thought it was a stay in the room and defend mission, but it wasn't. It was an escort get him out of the room. We should not have been sitting there. And every time that freaking encounter started, our captain died almost instantly. So we had to come up with a plan to get him out. Even on normal mode, he died almost instantly.
Hey, Luis, we had like the greatest intentions of like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's play Halo through Legendary, the hardest difficulty, whatever. We did that one night. The next night, like, let's knock it down a little bit. Let's go to like just a little slightly harder. Then that second night, and then we're like, you know what? We're just gonna play this shit on normal at this point. Then the trajectory we're going at, man, we're gonna end up beating this game on easy, man. Like this, it's rough out here. You know what though? Somebody else who's trying to look for an easy way out, man. Borderlands 3 is available. I don't know if you guys know, if whoever's listening, if you guys are aware, but there's this chain of stores called Five Below. They're basically a 99-cent store, but up to $5 or whatever. So everything $5 and below, five and below. They're good. It's in the name. But Borderlands 3 is available there. If you guys are so interested, so inclined to pick up Borderlands for $5. We all have Borderlands 3 though, right? Luis, you got
yeah, I bought it when it first launched.
Now, I guess this one's for Luis. Borderlands 3 at Five Below, man. You grab yourself some Tutti Fruities, some Haribos, and a $5 Borderlands 3, and you can play with me and Dave.
Man, the lies we weave. You know your ass ain't gonna go out there and buy that game. We're gonna have to buy it for you. We're gonna have to buy it for you and ship it to you by overnight.
I probably still won't play it.
What? Oh, snaps.
Now we'll play it with you. Hey, Borderlands 3, $5 at Five Below. Go grab it and we'll play it with you.
Hey, Carlos, it's not the fact that we'll play it with him. The question is, will he play it with us?
That's why I said I won't play it.
Damn. He's on GTA 5, man. Stop logging into GTA 5. And also, so we're going to be logging off for this week. I'm Carlos, your host of this here fine program. Oh, please still like and subscribe. We got some subscribers out there, man. So thank you guys for whoever's subscribing and listening and checking the podcast out. Make sure to go to wegotcoms.com and check that out as well. Again, Carlos Macias, your host. Dalan, as per usual, up in the mountains. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Hey, thanks for showing up.
I mean, I've been here, man. Like, what's going on here? Luis on the wheels of steel. Hey, damn. Luis Mendez on the wheels of steel. Thank you for joining us, sir, from DTLA.
You already know.
All right, so we'll see you guys next week. Well, we'll keep it spicy as per usual. Maybe we can save the captain this time, Dalan.
Oh, man.
Later.